Welcome back to the Sometimes Builds, the channel where we have too many projects and not enough sanity to get them all done in time. Today we're going to be installing these Infinity 697F speakers on this 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD. We're going to show you the whole process of taking the door card off, putting in sound deadening, putting in the mounts, putting in the speaker, and get it done quickly. So, join us. Good morning, happy Saturday, welcome back to the channel. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to take this door card off and we're going to put these speakers on. It's going to be easy, so I'm going to take a few minutes, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is pop this door panel off. It looks like it just pops off.
So there's a little cover in here that covers up 2 bolts. This panel only is attached with 4 bolts. There's 2 in here, there's 2 underneath, and they're all 7mm. And they can even tighten down.
Okay, so 1, 2, and then 2 up in the handle itself.
Yes. There we go.
And it lifts straight up and then off. And then there is this.
So there's a button here. This is for the door handle. And pops back. Pops up and out.
Oh.
Which you do need to make sure is in there when you put it back together. GM uses these very, very large clips on their things. So, yeah.
Wow, that was easy.
So there's a little tab right there.
You pinch it,
Yeah.
and then open it like a latch.
That's perfect.
That's pretty easy.
Just figuring out how to do it the first one.
So the door is off, and then this is what the panel itself looks like, and then this is the speaker down here that we're going to be replacing. But we also need to remove that paneling that he's looking at right now so we can put sound deadening in the door, because this might change the inside sound more than a speaker will. There's a lot of road noise, there's a lot of rattle, and if you already have the door panel off, it's 2 bolts.
I will say this truck is much quieter than my 22 was. It's surprisingly quiet. And the research I was doing when I was buying some parts of this showed that they actually there's an aftermarket company that makes covers that seals off so it's more airtight. This is a very long bolt here. So for some reason that bolt is almost twice as long as the other bolts. But you want to make sure, if you can, get the sticky off.
Make sure it stays on the door, because you want to reattach this panel when you're done. As much as you can. So obviously areas that we're going to be targeting are, you hear that rattle, that's every noise outside is going to be echoed inward with that. So same 2 8mm bolts, or 7.
There's only one on here.
By design or by mistake?
By design.
Okay. It says it's a Bose.
Yeah,
It's not a great Bose.
That's why I say Bose blows.
So 1 connection and a zip tie with a Bose logo on it.
Yep. A lot of people were saying that they upgraded these for the 24. They actually have the 3-way, but clearly they're not. So I got that. We can get in there. Nice big panel. the sound deadening, you don't have to cover the entire thing, but the more you can cover, of course, the quieter it sounds.
Sound deadening. What kind of sound deadening are we using?
This is all leftover sound deadening. So we've got the good trusty Amazon Basics stuff that
It's cheap. It's reliable.
used it on 2 cars. We did Devlin's car with it. I used it on 2 cars, Devlin's car, and my old truck. So everything we got here is leftover. And we also have what I need is some Shock Industries sound deadening. And
Should we use whatever's older?
this is definitely older, but that's easier to cut up.
Yeah.
So I thought with these, when we finalize the audio system, they're much larger sheets. So when we do the back of this, the back of the Tundra, the back of Sam's truck,
Big
these
sheets.
big sheets. For now, all we gotta do is cut these up into little strips, and we've got.
Lots of them.
This was all my leftover. This was Devlin's leftovers. Yeah, so I'll just be doing strips of this.
There's really not an exact science to it. You find metal, you stick this
Yeah,
on.
stick metal
You
on.
can't really go wrong as long as you're not covering up wires, you're not covering up anything that looks like it might move or block the window from coming down. Any bare metal, you just want to, any bare flat metal, like you obviously don't need to put it on that rail right there in the middle, but you're just going to slide it in and cover all the big flat pieces of metal.
Ripped off the panel with a flathead knife. Sweat on my brow, this is DIY life. Metal's all humming like a bass drum fight. Gotta shut it up before I drive all night. Hands getting sticky, fingers all bent. Stuffing that mat where the factory went. Tight like a secret, snug like a glove. Deadening the noise that I used to love. Peel it and stick it and peel it and stick it. Jam it in the corners, make the silence wicked. Tight little crevice, yeah, I'm on a mission. Fighting all the rattle with sound dead ambition. Peel it and stick it and peel it and stick it. Ska punk silence cannot dig it.
So this is the final finished look of the sound deadening portion. As you can see, any just flat metal service. Hear that now? Everything is very muted, but if you go back here to this back door, it sounds very hollow. It sounds like you're banging on a solid oak door. So every kind of road noise will also have that kind of same impact, and it'll make the interior a lot more quiet. So next is the foam covering, and that'll just go right on top of the same surfaces to additionally minimize the noise. Foam covering just looks like that. Same thing. You peel it and you stick it in flat areas.
Peel it and stick it and peel it and stick it. Job punk silence cannot dig it.
And then this is the final look of the foam sound deadening that went over pretty much all of the same surfaces. Same thing, peel it and stick it in the same areas. Charlie, what's the non-scientific difference between the blue stuff and the foam? What's the point? Why would you do both?
The rubber acts as an isolator for vibrations, and the foam acts as like a closed cell foam. So it absorbs and like repels audio or sound. Best that I can kind of explain it.
So kind of like blue is reducing the overall vibration, and then what does get through will get muted out by this. Because now if we do this, like that sounds like a vault door, and then you come over here.
This is a good example. Done. Not done.
Because you can't really get to this area up here. But all of this is covered, just not in that corner. So now it's just reassembly and then put on the mount for the speaker right there. Again, it'll be one screw, and then we just plug it in and put everything back together again. Okay, a Metra 82-3004 is the bracket you need to mount your new speaker to the door. And I'm guessing you also need these adapters. They do not come with the speakers, right?
Correct. SH3802 by pack.
And that is what will convert this plug here to the terminals on the new speaker, because that's not going to have the same factory plug. You're going to have to plug that in, and we'll see if it's a good match or not. Just like that.
Remember what happened last time I put speakers on my cars?
Yeah, I remember that. It was here. You stabbed it with a screwdriver.
So I'm not going to do that.
Is it even possible with this? Not really.
Still happen,
Huh? Looks like a plastic material.
so these are two-way.
What does that mean for...
The three-way is like the main tweeter assembly in it. But
A two-way meaning it has...
it's only like mids and lows.
You take your harness and you just plug it in. Black and white. Matching up with no reason at all, or...
Oh, one's small, one's big.
Oh, so they only fit.
Yeah, they only fit one way. So now, let's see.
So it comes with its own sound ending roll that just, again, peels and sticks to the outside of the speaker to prevent any vibration from the metal of the speaker going back to the door. So trying again, we found some other random wood screws and those fit. This will be Charlie's lesson not to unbox things at home and leave the screws at home. If that's what happened.
I remember seeing a bag of screws. Yeah, I'm just trying to get it.
So there's no rattles. You don't want it to be loose. And you want it to be a tight seal with that foam you put on between the speaker and the mount.
Much stronger magnet than the Bose. Alright, so I'm going to put a strip on each side of this.
Because it's only being held on by one screw, so you want to make it...
Yeah, it's just it's a rattle point.
We were talking in a previous video about the spectrum here. So you have my side where I'm just going to screw the speaker in. And this is Charlie's side where it's going to be perfect and better than factory. You're witnessing full Charlie level right now. To the point of putting foam between your metal and your mount. And then again between your mount and your speaker. This is true maximum Charlie level of OCD-ness.
This only goes one way. Yep. Flip.
So it wedges inside the
Yep.
circle and then outside to screw in. And the rest is a reversal of the removal. We're going to reattach this plastic panel here, lining up all of the holes and the crevices again. That's why you leave the sticky stuff, so you can just reattach it and reuse it. Last time he did this in the driveway on his other truck, and it really let go really well, and then really reattached really well. It was very sticky and pliable because it was hot. It's not so hot today, so
I almost want to get the heat gun.
I'm a manager. I stand and watch and provide good suggestions once a project.
Just earned your paycheck. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, did my job. Gonna go home now.
I feel useful. The problem here is the little metal tabs fell out, so you kind of got to work them back up and then push them into those little plastic channels so they stay, and be very, very careful. And then reattach your two metal fasteners for this door handle bracket. So same reverse as removal. You want to get it in position and then reconnect your connector down here.
Much easier to reconnect it. Panel harness in.
Then he's rotating it back into position, and then this is the connector for the door handle. That drops and clicks back into place, and same thing, you see that lip on top that slides and drops in. It has a channel in the door that it needs to sit in. Push down across the whole top to make sure it's sitting nice and flat, and then you can, the most satisfying portion is pushing your clips back in.
Something to check before you put it on. Make sure your clips are there.
Sometimes they will pop off. Our clip up here did not attach. Maybe I'm applying Japanese car standards to this American vehicle.
That's what happened.
As he said, it's good to check that your pins all popped out with the door and they didn't stay, or they popped out with the panel and didn't stay in the door, because that will prevent it from popping in place. So we had to take it out of the door, put it back in the panel, and then now he'll be able to push it in place. And then back to the two screws that are located right here.
Down into the abyss.
You'll notice he did slightly reverse the screw, and then he went counterclockwise and then clockwise. That's because you want the threads to line up with the hole, so they kind of pop into place, and then you screw it in, because you always risk making new threads if you just start turning it in there and sending it. It might not be lined up with the threads that were there before. And then down here, and that is how you replace your door speaker in a 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD. It's easy. You can do it yourself at home with common hand tools. Most of it is peel and stick and one socket. So you could go to the store and get one wrench, one extension, one socket, and take that door panel off. Yeah, if you skip the sound deadening part, you're just taking off the panel, one screw to take it out, one screw to put it back in. It's very easy. Save yourself some money, do it at home. If not, check out TrailGrid Pro. And that is going to be a wrap for this video for installing speakers on the 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 HD. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button down below. If you have any questions on this install, all the parts we used, all the tools will be in the description below. Hopefully I remember to do that. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. If you want to see more GMC content, hit the subscribe button once again. It's free and it helps the channel a lot. And it lets us know that you want to see more GMC content and want Charlie to spend more of his money on this truck. I'd like to see him spend more money on the truck. So we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peel it and stick it and peel it and stick it. Ska punk silence can't not dig it.